Elgato and Corsair have released a massive collaboration today that adds a lot of features that people have been requesting, and once again shows that Nvidia's just kind of doing all the legwork for the streaming scene here, and it's awesome. Sucks for a Team Red, but what are you gonna do? This video is sponsored by ClickUp. Learn how to reclaim an entire day's worth of time out of your week at the end of the video. First and foremost, Elgato's Camera Hub, the software to manage their webcams, which I praised as being the best part about the webcam, which was already a better webcam than most of what was released on the market. This allows you to use Nvidia's Broadcast technology, which, if you aren't aware, it leverages the AI chips on the RTX 20 and 30 series graphics cards. This does not work on 10 series or older or the 16 series graphics cards. Those don't have the same hardware used for like ray tracing or DLSS, things like that. It uses that hardware to track you and figure out where your human silhouette is, and can either remove your background, replace it, blur it out, things like that, with a little bit more fidelity and performance than most of the CPU bound options, and a lot more, better quality than what you'd get baked into like Zoom or something like that. It's really cool stuff. I've covered it thoroughly in depth on the channel. I have links below, but this is now baked in to Elgato's Camera Hub software, meaning you can use it with their webcam as long as you have the graphics cards for it, and not have to run the separate Nvidia Broadcast app. This and the second integration we're going to talk about are important because while the Nvidia Broadcast app is cool, it's great, I'm glad they made it, it's more of like a showcase for the features, and then Nvidia kind of wants the creators of everything else to integrate it themselves rather than everyone relying on Nvidia Broadcast. Nvidia Broadcast has some issues, it has some bugs for everybody, and I've had a specific issue where on my gaming PC in the house where I wanted to start streaming from, it just would never work for me. Like literally I couldn't access the device. It's the weirdest bug, never figured it out, but by using these native integrations, which on that PC specifically I was using the Evermedia Cam Engine integration because they had that already as well. Now if you're using the Elgato Facecam, you get it baked into Camera Hub. Now I would like to see them also integrate the Intel background removal technology like Evermedia has, but otherwise this is pretty cool. I like that it's built in. Just keeps you from having to install as much, keeps it all in one place, keeps you from bouncing your webcam from your webcam driver to Camera Hub to the Nvidia Broadcast app, then to OBS. All of that makes it a lot easier, and of course you'll have integration with the Stream Deck for enabling and disabling stuff once they update those features as well. Secondly, the Broadcast AI background noise suppression for your microphones is now getting integrated both into Wavelink for the Wave XLR and Wave microphones, as well as into iCUE for the Corsair headsets. All Corsair headsets except for, there is a specific one, I want to make sure I get it right, I already lost track of it. All Corsair headsets, with the exception of the HS75XB wireless, I don't know why that one, all of the other ones are compatible with Nvidia Broadcast. But better than just being an integration, Elgato actually took the time to develop a VST plugin to use the Nvidia Broadcast noise removal. So with both of these, the Camera Hub and the noise removal, however you use it, you still need the Audio Effects and Video Effects SDK installed. These are separate installers. They will be linked with the installers for the Elgato stuff. I'll have them linked below. That's kind of unavoidable because that's literally what leverages the technology and tells it what to do. That's like trying to run a game without your Nvidia driver installed. You're going to have a bad time. So you still will need those. But the cool thing here is that they developed a VST that can be used anywhere. Well, almost anywhere. It's a VST3 plugin. Not every application supports VST3. Now, for example, OBS Studio does not support VST3. They're not going to for a little while, at least until next year. But OBS does already have a separate integration for Nvidia Broadcast for the noise removal, and they will have another one coming soon. But this does mean you can use it in audio editing apps like Audacity, Adobe Audition, Reaper, things like that, which is really freaking cool because it's not just limiting you to using the thing they developed in their software, which I have huge cheers to Elgato for that, because Xamar's Nvidia Broadcast VST has not held up over time, and I can't even use it anymore, to the extent that with my Wave XLR that I use in my house for my gaming setup, I'm just using RN noise. And that's, the VST for that isn't perfect, but now I can swap that out with this one, and I can use it in Adobe Audition, and it actually works. I can use it in other programs. The only thing that I have found that it doesn't really work in so far is DaVinci Resolve, and Xamar's plugin never really worked with it either. I don't know if it has to do with how the noise suppression filter interacts with the audio tracks or whatever, but neither of these work in Resolve. I have reported this to Elgato. If they fix it, I'll post a story or a community tab post or something. It'll be in my Discord server, but that's the only thing I've found that it didn't work with. And again, this is just a really cool plugin that can help you either remove background noise in general, or specifically, you can do both of them, but specifically room echo removal if you don't have sound treatment like the Elgato sound panels or whatever in your space. I have those plus Gick acoustic big old, Rockwool panels. If you don't have those in your space and you're very echoey, this is super important for like video conferencing and things like that. You can turn that on and it can help reduce the reverb and the echo to make you sound a little bit more intelligible. So I recommend sound treating your space, but you do have that option available with an intensity slider that can be applied. And the fact that they also integrated it into iCUE for the headsets is a huge plus for me. Corsair have also recently released new gaming headsets, which according to Hardware Canucks have really stellar mics. I have requested those and we'll be reviewing them whenever they arrive. So they had one more announcement that I wanted to tell you about before I'll wrap up this video. And the Elgato HD60 X is now officially the world's first G-Sync validated capture card, which means that on monitors that are G-Sync compatible over HDMI, it'll work with the capture card, which was a big sticking point for me when I covered these new VRR updates for all the capture cards. The HD60 X does it. The Asus TUF CU 4K30 got an update for it too, though the comments that you all have left have suggested that it's not perfect. And then the EVGA XR1 Pro got an update for it as well. My big complaint here has been lack of G-Sync support, so it only really works with consoles or AMD. G-Sync now works with the HD60 X. However, due to the way G-Sync works over HDMI, it still only uses HDMI 2.1 VRR, so you still have to have a monitor that supports that for that feature. So most of you with HDMI can't use it yet. This is still a big step, but not the support that I was hoping for, and that's just because G-Sync in general doesn't work over HDMI without HDMI 2.1, which is really dumb. These kinds of announcements are things that you can kind of ideate that are coming, but I often don't find out about and get hands-on with the actual software and the tools until very last minute. And it's very difficult to juggle all of the tasks and all of the things involved, especially working with other editors and, getting new information on the fly. It costs me a lot of time, but you can save so much of that time, enough to reclaim an entire day out of your week with today's sponsor, ClickUp. ClickUp is the one app to rule them all. You know how I do my microphone samples with the One Ring Read? ClickUp is the one app to rule them all, the one app to bind them, to bring all your integrations together and find, I'm gonna drop that joke now. But it's a really cool service that combines documents, project management, chatting, teamwork, collaboration, as well as integrations for things like Microsoft Teams, Zoom, Outlook, Google Calendar, Chrome, Drive, Slack, all the things you would typically use to manage your team and your projects all together in one place. You got whiteboards to plan out your ideas and the first stages of your projects, as well as customizable views and dashboards to show exactly the information you need and where, to track time, to track priorities, to track to-do lists, nice visuals for everything, as well as a super sleek and intuitive document editor that is ready to go. ClickUp is built for teams ranging from a solo person to teams of 1,000 or more, and their pricing structure actually kind of shows that, is they have a free forever tier. You don't have to give them a credit card, you don't have to give them anything. They have a free forever tier. If you want to sign up, try it, just use it as a solo person, and then their pricing for, big teams and things like that starts very competitively at just $5 per member per month. It is a pretty insane setup that makes project management, channel management, managing your stream projects, your video ideas, your stream schedule, all of that so much easier. Put everything in one dashboard. Don't miss out. Reclaim an entire day of your week at the link below. Links to everything will be in the description below. I think it's just elgato.com/Nvidia, but I'm super excited that the progress is being made, that we're seeing. We kind of had a lull with the big streaming tech being developed, but I'm very excited that this progress has been made, and hopefully we'll see Nvidia work with other capture card companies to get G-Sync continued moving along, and hopefully we'll see a proper G-Sync compatible capture card within the next few years. And we have a new OBS version around the corner, so stay tuned for that. Get subscribed if you're interested in that. Otherwise, if you want more information about RTX broadcasts and what all this crazy technology is, I have a playlist link in the video description and reviews of my Elgato Wave XLR and microphone, as well as the HD60 X if you want to see what those are about. Link below as well. Remember, be kind, rewind.